Grandpa, tell me who are you?
My name is Russell Lowell Chapman Sr. I was born in 1930 in Rome, Georgia. That's Floyd County. Uh, in 1941, my father passed away, and my mother said we was leaving there. We left there in 1941, and came to Toledo, Ohio. We made it to Toledo, Ohio, and had in a 1936 Ford. It was my mother and my oldest brother, Willis Burdell Chapman, uh, Doris, myself, Russell, Walton Frank, in a car, 1936 Ford. And Alden and Alpharetta had come up already by train. They was already up here. So we come up down Highway 25. Now it's, what is it, 19? What is it? It's 25. We come Highway 25, and we was up in the mountain in Kentucky, and my oldest brother, he the only driver. He had been out partying before we left. We could see that he had to go around and see all his girlfriends and things before we left. He didn't get the proper sleep, so we coming up the hills in Kentucky there, and everybody was sleeping. He kind of dozed off too, and kind of rode off the road a little bit and hit a tree, and the tree threw the car back up on the street. So we didn't go off the cliff. So farmer came down there and saw what happened, and he went back and got two horses and chain and stuff and straightened the door out on the car. So we come on to Toledo. My mother stuffed pillows and stuff and blanket stuff around the car doors that was kind of messed up. Oh yes, and when it happened, uh, my mother said, "Is everybody here?" We said, "Oh, Mama, no, Doris ain't here." And Doris come running down the street. She had broke her right toe. That's all that happened. All the only injury I had. And we finally came on to Toledo. We got to Toledo, and everybody was leaving the South, going to Detroit. And the reason we stopped in Toledo, Ohio, because this is where my grandmother lived at. And she had passed away, but she had left a house on Pinewood Avenue, 662 Pinewood. And we get to Toledo, and we go to 662 Pinewood, and my aunt saw all of us, and she said, call my mother, they call my mother sister, all of them call my mother sister, her sister's brothers call my mother sister. So sister said, see if I can find y'all a place to stay. And my mother told us, no, we're not going no place today because we are tired, and said, have you got any, give me some extra blankets and things, we sleep on the floor. And we laid on the floor and slept, different times, at night. And the next day she got up and she went down on Door Street. A lady named, I forget her name, but she had a flower shop. And they was talking to her, and she said she had an apartment for rent. So my mother said, okay, they went and checked the apartment out. It was down on Nebraska Avenue, 367 Nebraska Avenue. It's a four apartment house. We stayed there for a while. We were there in 1941 when they bombed Pearl Harbor. Doris come in from work. Doris had a job. She come in from work and told her, Mama said they bombed Pearl Harbor. And we little bitty kids, said, who is Pearl Harbor?
Which
So
Pearl
some woman,
Harbor?
But it was, Pearl Harbor, when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. So we stayed there for a while, and then my mother was reading the paper. She saw where a guy had a house up on Hamilton Street, 600 blocks, 646 Hamilton Street, for rent. And at that time, the black folks, they lived across City Park back down towards town. And So my mother went, her and Doris walked way out there somewhere out here. I don't know, must have been out of Upton somewhere back out here to the man's house, see if they could rent the house. And the man told them, no, said, it's it's all white neighborhood. Said, don't think you can live there, you know. And he said, wait a minute. Said, since y'all walk way out here, said, I'm gonna rent it to you. And he rented the house to us. And in that block, 600 block, right across the street where we lived at, chief of police lived there, and his kids, and on the next corner, the fire chief lived. And we stayed there for quite a while, and somewhere, I don't know, my mother met a guy named Charles Harrison. And some way, I guess they must have got married or something, and we stayed there for a while, and they checked things out, and they said they're looking for a house, so they went out looking, and they found a house on Fernwood Avenue, the 700 block of Fernwood Avenue. And so they said, let's check it out. You know, went and check it out. And I said, well, the man said, well, I'll sell it to you. It was one black person lived in this block. It's all white, you know. Mm-hmm. It's all white neighborhood. So they said, well, we don't know about, you know, another black person moving. And another black guy told me, nah, we don't want no more blacks in here. I'm enough blacks in here, you know. And so one white guy across the street said he had worked with him and his sons. They worked at Dole Jarvis, and my two older brothers worked at Dole Jarvis. They know them, you know. So, oh no, we know the Chapman boys. They're good boys. So we'll back it up. Say, let them buy the house, you know. So they bought the house, and we lived at 725 Fernwood. Mm-hmm. We lived there a long time, and that's the place we lived. That's a family house. We lived there for a long time. We were all raised up from there, on up from there. And like I said, all the boys are veterans. My daddy was a veteran. He's in World War One, and three brothers in World War Two, mm-hmm. and three of us in the Korean War.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, well, two went to Europe, mm-hmm. Germany. 2 stayed in the States, 2 went to the Far East. I was one of the ones that went mm-hmm. to the Far East. I went to Korea. Never heard of it before. Never. I heard of it, never.
How long did you stay in Korea?
They drafted me. I got a notice in a letter that congratulations, so your friends and neighbors has elected you to serve in the United States of America. I said, boy, what is this, you know?
Your friends and neighbors, huh?
Yeah, so I said, well, you know, I had to go down to the place down here, you know, where they recruiting place, you know. We go down there, and the guy said, okay, said, you know, he swore us in, you know. And he said, okay, you guys that live in, you know, swore us in, all right, you guys that live here can go home, but to be back to the train station at 6 o'clock in the evening. And we down at a great big building. I guess it was about 150 of us. And the old sergeant there told us, all right, so line up here. We line up there, you know. Bend over and spread your cheeks. Guys, bend on. Nah, that ain't the cheeks I'm talking about. You know, cheeks, you know. So we did that, and a couple of guys, you know, some guys we knew that they was, mm-hmm. Oh, Sammy and Frankie, went to school with them, you know, and we was all naked up there, you know. Sammy and Frankie come out there, and we ain't taking our clothes off about all these men. No, and they look at the wrestling George over there. Ooh, they well hung, ain't they? Look at them, you know. And the old sergeant said, took them back in the back room somewhere, and that's when they come back out, you know. And no, honey, I ain't gonna all them men. Said, but it would be nice, and so on, you know. and they swore us in. They took us down a little cafeteria down there somewhere, and we all had lunch. We Swartz and we was in the military, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, what they said, we want, at the time they were drafting him in the Marine Corps. And they said, we want, we'd all lined to, we want, I think it was about 200. We want half of it to take a step forward to go to the Marine Corps, you know. Take one step forward. Everybody stepped backwards, you know. And the old society said, well, damn it, said, I'm going to send the whole damn bunch of it to the Marine Corps. And we had lunch. And we left and had lunch. We left and they said, okay, you can, the ones living to lead, like I said, the one living to lead, you go home, but you be down the train station, you're sworn in, you're in the military, you know. He said, be there, you know. So I came home and my mother said, said, you didn't go, you didn't go. I said, Mama, I said, they done swore me in, I'm supposed to go to the train station. She said, I didn't think you were going because I had asthma, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't think I was going. You know, I tried to wheeze, but I couldn't wheeze, you know. And so we went to the train station. My mother and the girl I married and my youngest brother Frank, well, took her down the train station. Went down there and we got on the train. We thought we was going to the Marine Corps, and we got on the train and when we went to this one place that said Fort Meade, Maryland, United States Army.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, we going to the Army place.
Yeah, no, we
Went there and then they took it there and we stayed there for a while and they said, okay, said people going to different places to have basic training, what they call it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so the one is, you know, real physical shape and stuff. You know, you go certain place, and the other ones, you know, go this place and that place, you know. And they check you out and they call your name out, so and so. Step over there. You go over there. And we thought we know where we're going, so we got on the train and come on down through the train there, and guys were gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were playing blackjack, I think. Deal a card and you get it. You stay up there and they deal your hand, you up there on the Pullman, you know, and you hold your hand and blackjack, you know. I was cheating going on, and fast I was cheating, the guy paying me off, and another guy, I was putting the money in my pocket, another guy standing next to him was taking it out of my pocket. I didn't know it, but we get to Fort Knox, Kentucky, and we started having basic training there. And we had basic training in Fort Knox, Kentucky, and on the weekend we used to go to Louisville, Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
party, you know, as Louisville,
bars.
Kentucky, but not far from Fort Knox.
Mm.
Fort Knox is where they keep the gold at, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, you heard of it, huh?
I heard of that, yeah.
Yeah. We had basic training. We used to go to Fort Knox, and a friend of mine had an aunt lived in Louisville, Kentucky, and I would like to sleep a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If I get someplace, I'd like to go to sleep, you know. And she liked me pretty. You know, he talked to her. And she liked me pretty well. She said she ran something like a after hour place, you know. You go there and drink and stuff, you know. And she said, okay, said she called me her other son, you know. Or William White was his name. That was his aunt, you know.
Okay.
She said, that's you my other son. And Russell, you my older son. I said, this Davenport here is yours. You get here and take a nap, said nobody better not touch you. And that's where I take a nap at, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd get up after that and go to this bar, and what the band was playing, and as a young, pretty girl was singing, and I was sitting there talking, you know, having a drink, you know, looking at her, kind of winking at her and going on, you know. And after a while, you know, she come over where I was and talked to me. How you doing? I said, okay. You know, we put on civilian clothes, you know.
Civilian clothes to go out?
We put on civilian clothes to come to town, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And had on civilian clothes. But, you know, this girl comes sit down and start talking to me. Said, you in the Army, ain't you? I said, no. She said, why you got on Army socks? That's one thing, you had them Army socks on. That's what a girl tell you, know. And I got to mess around with her and got to go on with her, you know. And she going pretty good, and pretty soon after a while, we finished basic training there, and they shipped us out.
Mm-hmm.
Came to Toledo here, and we was going to the Far East. Came home. I think I had 10 days in delay. I think
Mm-hmm.
come in after 10 days here, and then. But I used to come to Fort Knox here. As a guy, he used to have a car. He used to take people. He'd run people from where they would go to Toledo back.
Okay.
He used to drive here, and you pay him,
That's a good hustle right
Yeah,
there.
but I had a hustle too,
Mm-hmm.
I could iron.
You,
I had an ironing board. I tell you about
you
this.
told me that.
Yeah, I had an
iron
ironing board.
board.
And I always had a hustle,
That's a good hustle.
I had a hustle,
Uh-huh.
and I loaned money.
Uh-huh.
$1 on a dollar, 50 cents on a dollar. All
Loan
depending what
shark.
time of the money was,
Uh-huh.
If where the money, what he getting paid, $1 on a dollar, all right, Chapman, here. Okay. And then we'd come home, and I stay here and I'd party a little bit. We had to be back at the camp at 5 o'clock in the morning. You got to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. They call it reveille. You heard morning. So we would get back in time for reveille. Be halfway wore out because you're tired and everything, but you had to be, they all present, and then you get ready and they go some more training. They had training scouting and patrolling, and boy, you had to go out and scout. Scouts out, you go someplace. The scouts had to go way ahead of the group, stay there and make sure everything is clear, And when the regular party come through, you give them a signal that keep on going,
Yeah.
You get up in a tree somewhere, somewhere, that's where different things we training we had, get up a tree and hell, I fell out of a tree one time. They come by there and I fell out of a tree and boy, they were like hell.
That's like they probably was laughing about that, huh?
Yeah, I was laughing too, boy.